back to the Omdahl Show. This is episode 1142, and we're live here in Southwest Florida in my studio. And it's cold here today. Maybe not cold where compared to where you are, and hopefully you have heat and are indoors and not cold. But we don't use the heat here in the RV, and it went down in the 40s last night. Bjorn was pretty needy overnight, and in fact I even convinced him to sleep on my chest under the blankets, which was really cute. Tried to get a picture of it, and he's like, how dare you. Anyway, it's about 55 in here right now, so still chilly, but it's going to warm up. The sun's out, so it will heat up in here quickly, but in the meantime I'm cold. Bjorn's been cold, and so that's why I'm all bundled up today. It's fun though. It's a fun novelty for me because summer's around the corner for us. We have like the smallest winter ever, and it's summer's coming. And then we'll have to complain about the sound of the AC all the time. Anyway, it'll even come on later today. The temperature fluctuates so drastically here in the RV because of the heat. So yeah, it's all good. It's just something different. So we slept with lots of blankets last night, and I have on sweats today. Bjorn has his luxurious fur coat on, and I'm wearing one of the hats from my Intro to Knitting Part 2 course. Brought out a bunch of hats, and I decided to go with this one today. And I'm wearing my Tranquil Tile shawl today. What else? Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day for those who celebrate. It really isn't that big of a holiday to me, but that's okay. If it is to you, that's wonderful. Yeah, whatever. I don't celebrate Galentine's Day either. I don't do any of it. Hi Angela, hi Joe, hi Judy K, Thea, Chris, Val, Judy W, Judy K, Judy G, Marlene, hi Sarah, hi Trudy, good morning everybody, hi Christine, is there a Christine here too? Yeah, hi Christine. Hello everybody, happy Tuesday, welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 1142, and we are live in Southwest Florida in my studio, and it's cold here for me today. It's in the 50s in the RV, which is really cold for me. But it will heat up within the next hour or so, so I'm not suffering. I'm just cold. Drinking coffee, bundled up in my knit and crochet goodness, and here to say hi to everybody and chat with all of you. Today is Tuesday also. Can I model it? I can stand up, yep, but there isn't much room right here. You can see better photos of this on the link at the pattern page that Judy just shared. Thank you, Judy. I'm just wearing a sweatshirt and leggings this morning, so don't mind me. But as you can see, this is a rather large shawl, which means that not only can you wear it traditionally as the triangle shawl, but you could also corset tie it here, or even use some butterfly clips or some sort of clips to make it more of a poncho look. This could definitely look like a poncho if you did that. I could go grab one of my clips in the back in the bathroom, but you can see that. I think it might even be long enough that you could tie it behind you, or you could certainly clip it behind you if you wanted to wear it like that. You could absolutely tie it or clip it behind you under your arms so that it looks more like a shrug. Again, this would be cuter if I was wearing something nice, but I think you can still get the gist of it. But when you have a longer shawl like this, you have a lot more options than if you just had a smaller shawl, because you have those longer pieces that you could wrap in a variety of ways. Keep in mind, if you wanted to make two of this shawl, you would have a gorgeous poncho too. Let me turn it around, and let's just pretend like this is the front, and you would have a second piece for the back. Look at how gorgeous this would be as a poncho. You would just leave this part of the center seam open for your neck, and then you would sew all the way down the two triangles like that, or you could even leave part of it open as well. But wouldn't that be gorgeous? Look at the length on that. This would be stunning as a poncho. I would love to wear this as a poncho too. So all you would have to do is make two of them. I'll go get the board if that doesn't make sense to anybody. just in case. Does everybody understand that if you make two triangles, you could combine them together to make a square? If not, I'll draw it. It doesn't. Yeah, that would be great for spring, definitely. And it is a one ball project with Hobie Yarns Mega Ball Aran, which is like 765 yards of number 4 worsted weight or number 4 Aran weight yarn. Really fabulous. Love that. Okay, so let's demonstrate how you would make, if you made two triangles, because that shawl is definitely a triangle, right? If you made two of them, right? If you made two of them, they'd be symmetrical. This is hand drawing, so I know I know I didn't do that perfectly, but you could sew it here and have a space for your head there. You could sew it all the way down to the ends, or you could just sew it partially down the ends, and then you would even have even more arm movement. Then with that style and that size of a poncho, you could make a belt and belt it so that it would be fitted in the waist too. So let me show you the front view of that now. So this would be, okay, so there's a girl with pigtails, just, I don't know, I'm being silly. Anyway, so if that's what the poncho looked like from the front view, if you found two spots near your natural waist to add a belt, you could actually make that cinch in, and then you would have a fitted poncho. That is one of the most figure flattering, easy projects you can possibly make. When you take something that's not structured, but has drape and has volume, and you find a way to add a belt to create waist shaping in there, it is so figure flattering, looks like it's custom made for you, and really it's two-dimensional fabric with a belt. That is one of the simplest ways to make a garment that looks fitted, even though you don't have to have sizing information. This is one of my, and you can do this as a cape too. You could, in fact, you could turn this sideways so that it was, can we draw on this one now that we see that, or do I need to redraw it? Let's redraw it. If you turn this on its side, here, let me do it. Okay. I'm going to do a smaller version of it here. But let's say that you joined your triangles in the other direction. So this was front and back. What if we did it left and right? And what if just a little higher than center? What if you sewed together just the back side and left the front side open? Guess what we have now? A cape or a ruana, right? So now let's visualize what that looks straight on. This is overhead view, right? Overhead shot, and this is front view. So let me draw the girl again. All right, she's gonna be smiling now. You gotta make something silly. It's gotta be silly too. Can you see how you could the seams were either on the shoulder up there, or the seams could be front and back. And then you could still, the fabric has lots of holes in it. You could easily make a belt and then weave it through the holes of the fabric. And you could add a belt in there, and then it would cinch closed too. Can you see how figure flattering either of those would be? And all you would have to do is just make two of these. This was actually a super fast project too, because it's worsted weight yarn, and I used a larger hook. What was it, like a K hook? I got 10-inch squares. You don't need many 10-inch squares to join squares together to make a shawl. And I actually made it in only a couple of days. So, you know, double that. You could do it within a week or two if you were really focused on it. What a stunning, stunning garment. And then depending on what fiber content you used, it could either be fabulous for winter, fall and spring. If you did it in a cotton, this could be a beach cover-up then too, right? That could be a beach cover-up if you did it in cotton or something really lightweight. It doesn't matter what fiber you use. What matters when you're choosing fiber, what matters is what is the application that you're going for. Are you looking for a beach? I mean, can you imagine this as a beach cover-up or a summer poncho in a lightweight yarn? Amazing. But even as a wintry piece, it's gorgeous too. It depends on what you want. Make more than one for that matter, right? Make, and I'm glad that math is your jam, Judy G, but guess what? You don't need to be good at math to know this. Yeah, Christine, it's just thinking outside the box. You can do this. It's not just my patterns that you can think outside the box on. You could do this with any patterns for that matter. And I hope that by me sharing these examples with my patterns allows you to think more outside the box so that you get more value out of all of your patterns, not just mine. Because when you think outside the box like this, you can get so much more value out of any pattern, any triangular. I mean, this is geometry. Two triangles make a square. Pick any triangular shawl, and you could do a ruana or a poncho or a beach cover-up or any of these things with any shawl pattern. It doesn't have to be this shawl pattern or one of my shawl patterns. Once you understand this concept, and again, please excuse my drawings. They're not, sometimes because I'm in a rush to demonstrate, I don't put the time that I should into my drawings. And because of that, I think it's funny to me anyway. I know I have a weird sense of humor sometimes, but I think it's funny to actually make silly drawings since I'm, acknowledging the fact that I didn't put any time or energy into it. Tammy, a book with all the variables would be awesome, but boring for the creator. What do you mean boring for the creator? Boring, which creator? Which one do you mean? You mean the author or you mean the end user? I'm not sure I understand who it would be boring for. Thea says they're happy drawings. They are, because I like to make things light and fun. Hi, Dawn. Good morning. Oh, the author. It is not boring for me as the author to write books that help people explore being more creative on their own. I actually really enjoy that. I like making things. I like teaching things in that style because I really do like empowering other people. I think that's one of my biggest goals as a teacher has always been to empower other people. I don't want people to feel like they just have to take my classes and that's all they can learn. I want people to understand that once you build up your skills and you build up your confidence, that you could explore on your own then too. So it really is important to me to empower other people, not just teach step by step. Oh yeah, the back end work is a lot. In fact, Tammy, that's one of the reasons why I'm getting really overwhelmed with my motif course right now, is the fact that the content in the handout is so comprehensive and so big that I almost think it makes more sense as a book than a video course, because it'll take me so many hours to make all of the pieces. I'd rather cut pieces of paper to demonstrate it, because we're talking hundreds and hundreds of hours to make all the motifs and record them. And I don't think that that's necessarily the best teaching idea. I think as a book, it's actually really, really helpful as well. So I'm back to a back burnering of a project, and you know how much I believe in it, but don't like it at the same time. I really like momentum. Hi, Donna. Good morning. That's great, Christine. I'm so glad. Dawn starts with the design and then goes rogue. That's wonderful. There is no wrong way to be creative as long as you're getting the results you want, right? Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions about this? I'll tell you what, I would love to just poof, have a second one of this shawl right now so I could show you this. This would be so attractive on. Unfortunately, I have other projects I have to work on right now and I can't dip back and make a second one. But if you are inclined to make two of this shawl or two of any shawl for that matter, but I will say this was relatively fast to make because the motifs are so big. If you are so inclined, you will not be disappointed making a garment out of this. And as far as a belt goes, I would just do foundation ovals, easy peasy. And for those of you that are excited to see a video tutorial for the Gigi Duster Vest, I have been working on my first video for it. I'm making the squares from the center back and have most of the first video done. What I'm going to do is teach you how, or demonstrate how to crochet those squares, how to join them together, and how to get started on the stitch pattern along the sides, which is a deconstruction of the motifs. And from there, the pattern is more than sufficient. The pattern is sufficient for making it now as it is, but I know some people like a little extra boost with a video tutorial. I do not see the point in showing the entire project when the pattern is available with lots of detailed charts on my website, but I will make, I am making a couple of tutorial videos. And what's fun is being able to show you what that multicolored motif looks like in one color. It helps you to visualize whether or not, what it would look like if you do lots of colors or a little bit of colors, or one color. That's what happens when you start reading while you're talking. Crazy stuff comes out of your mouth. Hi, Chrissy. Good morning. Thanks, Dawn. Wait and see if there's any questions now. I had a harebrained idea this morning to do a long, remember when we did, what were those long live streams called that I did a few years ago at my old beautiful house? Behind the design, was it something like that? Designing something? I forget what I called them, but remember we did a whole design from start to finish live, and I think one of them was like 5 hours. Remember I lost my voice? Designing live, was that what it was, Judy? I don't remember sometimes. Thank you. I was thinking about doing something like that in the next few days or somewhere. What would you like to see in long form like that? Would you want to see like the process of making a video? Would you like to see the process of making something or editing something? Like I'm trying to figure out, or maybe different lives for every step, and like put them all in the playlist of the actual project so that when the pattern comes out, you can watch all the videos of all the different steps. Like you could see the video of there would be a video of making the charts, writing the pattern, making the piece, all of that stuff. Would that be fun or would that be boring? Would that be better live? Would that be better recorded? If we made something small enough, we could do the whole thing live. Like it couldn't be like this would take days. That wouldn't, but I wonder if there's something we could do live to show all of those steps for a smaller project. Maybe even like the bookmarks, you know, something that could be done in a short enough period of time so that we could make the chart, write the pattern, stitch the bookmark, photograph it, and do I'll need 2 cameras, which I have, so I could figure that out. But does that sound fun? Would you want it to be live or would you want it to be recorded? Part of me thinks that live actually shows the realness of it better, but I also think that it would be so long that it might get boring. Not boring for me, boring for you. The best part about live though is that you can interact and talk to me, and if you have to leave you can come back, whatever. Yeah, live sounds better, I agree. So I'll show you what I have left over from the crochet cowl that I released this week. Remember the Amore cowl? Angela, a day in the life. Yeah, you know, I've wanted to do that for years and years and years. I've actually looked into just getting a webcam before. just so I have something set up and people could just watch what I do, because I do multitask so much throughout the day. I always thought that that would be fun to see how I get what I get done, and how I stay organized, and how I don't stay organized sometimes. But because I do understand that there is a perception that I get a lot done in a day compared to others sometimes, not that I'm judging or, you know, throwing roses at myself or anything, but I know that that is a perception of a lot of people that follow me. So I thought it might be fun to do that. So I can't find all of them. They're underneath my table here. But anyway, from that Amore cowl, I have a bunch of these little leftover balls from when I made it. Um, Lori, that's a great question too. I've talked to Chef about sharing things about what we're doing, and his biggest no is to not share his recipes or his techniques, and I get that. I do. They are proprietary to him. He is a 3-star Michelin chef, and I get all that. And I also understand that at clients' homes, I may not have permission to video because it could be security issues. We go into homes that have private security, like security guards and valet for parties. So like, I understand if they wouldn't want any videoing done, but I'm trying to figure out what parts I can share. So yeah, I'm trying to figure that out right now, because I would really like to share some of it, because it is wild and totally different than anything you've ever seen before too. Uh, and it's just more being creative, so I know that you guys will enjoy it. And it's a lot of multitasking as well. You've never heard the expression throwing roses at myself? I grew up with that expression. It means bragging. It means like you're bragging about yourself. And my family said that when I was growing up. But yeah, I would love to figure out how to share videos of prepping a party. I do have some videos of a really big party that we did a while back. I can probably share them on Patreon since it's semi-private there. But going forward, I'll have to figure out what I need permission to share and what I don't need permission to share. I'm sure sharing things in the commercial kitchen is fine, but getting to the homes and the events is where I find it's a little stickier. Thanks, Millie. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I feel like everything I've done builds up to something else. You know, even my years being a professional model when I was a teenager, I learned so much about photo composition and styling and lighting and editing and all that stuff. Even though that was analog, that was before cameras were digital. We used to look at negatives and stuff back then too. That's how old I am. We used to have negatives, and then the photographer had a dark room in their studios most of the time, and they made contact sheets, and we would look at them on top of light boards with a little magnifying lens to see which shots we like, and those are the ones that he would then blow up into bigger ones. But it was so cool. But anyway, I feel like that was the beginning stepping stones for becoming, you know, an author and a designer. And I've those skills really helped me to get better at photography, get better at all the different and styling and things like that. A 50-year-old baby, I don't know about that, Thea. Maybe relative to, I realize that I'm not the oldest person in the world, but I don't feel like I'm a baby anymore. Thanks, Millie. I'm happy to share anything with anybody. Yeah. Well, within reason, right? Well, that's good. Throwing roses at oneself is a funny expression. I like it. Yes, we had Polaroids back then too. We would test the lighting with Polaroids before starting to shoot with film. Yes, that is true. Oh, what was I saying? So I was thinking about taking these small leftover balls from that cowl and maybe making a little bookmark. And my first idea for the bookmarks is to do little squares and maybe do a flower in the center, like kind of like a granny stitch, but a granny square, but not the traditional granny square. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Thanks, Angela. This is one of the hats from my Intro to Knitting Part 2 course. It's also available as a pattern if you don't need the course. It's available as a pattern on my website too. Really easy technique of doing slip stitch mosaic. 3 patterns came in the course, and you can get those patterns on my website too. These are the 2 other patterns. Each one is a 2-color project, 2-ball project because of 2 colors. Super, if you've never done color work in a hat, or color work in general in knitting, this is one of the easiest ways to learn color work, because in slip stitch mosaic you only carry 1 yarn at a time. You're not having to juggle 2 yarns. Each individual row or round, or actually set of 2 rounds, is done in 1 color with slipping and knitting, so that you don't have to hold 2 yarns at once, which as a beginner, if this is new to you, such an easy way to begin. And even as an experienced knitter, it's a relaxing project. It's easy. Sometimes we like easy stuff too, right? Can you still buy film? Yes, you can still buy film. I believe you can still buy, well, yeah, you can still buy film, and I believe you can still buy Polaroid film too. I'm just not into it. Is it part 3? Thanks, Judy. I was wrong. Yeah, part 1 was knitting flat. Part 2 was with a scarf. Part 2 was knitting in the round with a cowl. And part 3 was hats, with the hat construction with the 3 different stitch patterns. And you learn how to do the slip stitch mosaic flat in rows and in the round, and make the 3 hats. So lots of information there. All 3 of the classes have a lot of information. Don't take my word for it. There are plenty of people here who have learned how to knit from my classes, so I know that they've been really helpful for a lot of people too. All right. Wait and see if there's any questions. So anyway, I was thinking about doing just like a tiny bookmark with a flower in the center of each motif, and then around after that makes them square, and doing a mini little square. And I think these colors would be so pretty for one of them, very spring-like. Thea just bought some alpaca yarn, bulky weight, looking for a cowl pattern. Yeah, I've got lots of them. You can even search patterns by yarn weight. If you go to the pattern section of my website, you can even search in the filter, whether you're looking at knitting patterns, crochet patterns, or whatever, you can filter by yarn weight. So if you would like to only look at number 5 bulky weight yarn, you can definitely do that. The 2 patterns that come to mind immediately are the 2 patterns I did in Wonder Fluff, that alpaca number 5 bulky weight blended yarn I bought at Knit Picks. I did a knit and crochet cowl with each of those, and those are definitely bulky weight. But there's tons of them on my website. A bunch of patterns that I did in Be So Easy, that was number 5 bulky weight also. I have a heart-shaped bookmark that sits over a corner of a page. Perfect timing for, what do you call it? Valentine's Day. You could download it, make it today, and give it as a gift later today. It's so easy and quick. It's called the Palmer Corner Bookmark. I'm looking it up right now. Check this out. This is perfect for Valentine's Day, and just perfect in general. It just slips over the page that you're on. Hi, Karen. Judy's sharing links to bulky weight crochet cowls and probably bulky weight knit cowls too. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. And if you don't follow those links, it's easy to find on the website too. Oh, I should hold this back up. I know sometimes it's hard to remember where you found something. I'm going to leave this up for a second. If anybody wants to take a screenshot to save this for later to remember what you can do with 2 triangular shawls, you can make a poncho or a cape, and you can add a belt and make them figure flattering garments as well. So this is by taking any triangular shawl. Today the example was the Tranquil Tiles shawl, which is a crochet pattern on my website that is dedicated to this quarter's Shawls for Sharing. And yes, that bookmark is also in 52 Crochet Gifts book. But if you want to make a screenshot of this so that you can remember what to do with two triangles to make two different fitted garments, I'll hold this up for a second so you can take a screenshot if you want. Or come back later and watch the whole thing over again. Yeah, that's a good point too, Judy. If you've had trouble with the search and filter function on my website in the past, we have updated it with some newer technology and it is much easier to use now. So if you've given up on it and would like to try it again, it's a lot easier. Somebody mentioned Ravelry. I do offer my patterns on Ravelry and Etsy if that is your preferred place to buy patterns. And if there's another source that you know of where you like to buy patterns that I don't offer my patterns on, let me know. I'd be happy to offer them there as well. But for now, my patterns are available on Etsy, Ravelry, and no, this is the Gigi Duster vest on my desk. I've been doing the videos for the motifs on top of the vest so that you can compare and contrast the solid color with the multicolor at the same time in the videos. I thought it was an interesting way. To film the videos. Now, I could be right, I could be wrong, and you can let me know when the video comes out. Some people might think it's too busy for a background. Thanks, Lori. Yes, my website, I guess it's not my new website anymore. It's been around for a while. It's the newest of my websites, though. I do love the fact that you have an account on my website and you can have your own library of your downloads on there. It's very similar to what you can do on Ravelry, but you can do it all on my website. And it was one of the biggest wishes I had when making a new website. What was it, a year and a half, 2 years ago now? Maybe 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago, year and a half. Anyway, I know a lot of people have really enjoyed having an account and having all that. And we have forums too, so if you would like to chat with each other and keep the party going throughout the day. I know it hasn't really taken off great. Not everybody uses it. I would love to see more people use it because I feel like it's just a safer and more private environment than a group on Facebook or any of those other things. So if you want to keep the party going and chat with each other throughout the day after the live show, you can do that on the forums. It's 100% private. No one can see anything unless they're logged into an account there as well. It's moderated. Nobody, no bad behavior is tolerated at all. In fact, all you have to do is report something and it's gone. I have a zero tolerance policy for bad behavior in the forums. And you know what? I can because it's private. And that's what I really like about it. Also, you can private message each other on there. And that's totally, totally private. I don't even have access to that. Yeah, it just needs to get more populated. That's all, Sharon. It's just something I offer in case people want to chat with each other further throughout the day and stay off of social media. I know not everybody likes to be on social media, and I get it. If I was a private citizen and not a public figure, I probably wouldn't be on there at all. However, it is part of what I do, so I am on social media. Again, if you don't like it, don't use it. There's no rules here, or not in that respect anyway. These are things that I just offer. If you like, if you don't like it, don't use it. That's fine as well. All right. Does anybody have any other questions? Yeah, I think that if a few people got started on there, I think it could be really enjoyable. Like we've spent a lot of time building it and making it, and it's sad that it hasn't taken off, but I don't know. Yeah, I just think you need to practice. I mean, just like with anything else that's new, you just have to practice and do it more often. But you know, it is a safe place to talk with other creative people. I think it's a safer, more private place than social media, aka Facebook. And so that's why I created it. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. There's no pressure here, never any pressure. I just like to bring it up every once in a while because I think it's really a safe place, and there's not many places you can say are safe anymore in this world. And it's something that I'm really proud of creating for everybody. And you know, but if it doesn't take off, it doesn't take off, whatever. All right, are there any other questions? I held that up so you could take a screenshot of it. Uh, if you make this as a shawl or as a poncho or a cape, I would love to see it. That would be awesome. Like I said, I don't have time to do it right now, but if I did, I would. And if somebody else does, I totally think you'll enjoy it. And I would love to see it myself. So you can either share your projects with me, things that you've made with my patterns on my website on the Share a Project uh, form, or you can tag me on social media. If you tag me on Instagram, the @ Kristin Omdahl, or if you tag me on Facebook, the @ Kristin Omdahl, I can share it there as well and share it with other people if you like. But it'd be really cool to see what you're making. I think you can tag me on Pinterest too. I don't know how that works actually, but I know Instagram and Facebook you can. So if you want to do that, you can. If you're here on YouTube yourself, you can tag me there as well. I would love to see what you're making, or like I said, share it on my website. I haven't named it yet. Yeah, it's a top. It has large sleeves, but it's still a pullover. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. So thanks everybody for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed our little chat with geometry today and chatting with me and everyone else and talking about all sorts of fun creative things. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Oh, and if you have some ideas for me on a long form live stream that you would like to see me show behind the scenes of, let me know and I will consider it. Other than that, I will see you soon. Bye.